Alright, so I'm going to do a little intro before the intro for the video. I just wanted to say that through this process of making this art journal, it was a challenge for me, and you'll see if you watch the whole video. But I kept at it, and this is the outcome. And it definitely was not what I was envisioning, but it definitely turned out better than I thought halfway through. So if you do watch the whole video, thank you very much. If you don't, no worries. If this is going to be a mostly like real-time process video, so if you're not into those, just skip it. But before you do, give it a thumbs up. No. But if you do like full process videos or real-time process videos, please give this video a thumbs up so I know that you do. And also leave me a comment down below, and share this on social media so that other people can see it. And all of the supplies will be listed in the description box below. So let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm going to be doing a different type of video for you. I am going to be doing a real-time-ish video. I'll be editing out the really boring stuff like drying times, and if I tend to get caught in creating and not talking, I'll probably speed it up, which that is a lot of times why I tend to steer away from these types of videos, because most of you might have heard me say in the past, I'm not much of a talker, so we'll see how this goes. I did want to create a art journal page. I got this stamp set from Blue Moon Scrapbooking. You still might be able to catch the 50% off sale. I don't think they have this stamp set still, but be sure to check out what they still do have. Sadly, they are going out of business. Blue Moon Scrapbooking, not this stamp company, but alright, so I'm working in the mixed media book from Prima. I already started adding gesso, and I decided to turn on the camera. So, like I said, this is the mixed media book from Prima. I love this book. The pages are very thick, and I'm adding clear gesso. I use the clear gesso from Prima. You want to add gesso to your pages. Got a lot of gunk on this brush. To prep the pages, so when you add your sprays, inks, that type of thing, it doesn't soak into the paper. Although this is, I think it's like a watercolor paper, and I did do an art journal page, and I'll have it linked in the upper right hand corner quite a while ago, just using watercolors and directly onto the paper, and it worked out really well. So I want to make sure that I get all of the edges, and I think I'm going to take this out of the book actually. So let's see. It's fairly easy to do so, but I struggle with most things in general, so things that are typically easy for most people tend to struggle. So wanted to make sure I got up here because I don't think I was. And then also by the rings or the holes. See, there I go, talking really softly. I don't even know if you can hear me, but all right, I am going to dry this and I will be right back. All right, I got a lot of the distress spray stains from Blue. I keep wanting to say Blue Fern Studios, but it's Blue Moon Scrapbooking. And I want to give them a try, but I can't decide which colors I want to use. This one's really pretty. Let's see, maybe more of a muted page. These are really pretty, because I feel like the last page I did was fairly bright, It was the, I think it was the Be Kind to Yourself page. Pretty sure. Let's see. I'm trying to think what I want to do first. I think I want to stamp first, and going to try to think of how I want to do these. If I flip them over, I can kind of get a better idea of the layout that I want. Maybe put them on the side like this. And then see, another reason why I do not do these types of videos. But I know some of you enjoy kind of the creative process. I think I might mask some of it off, and then maybe I'll look up here to see. Try to think. Because I don't want to add texture if I'm going to be stamping, because then it will be hard for me to stamp. So I'm going to add gesso again. And this is another page from that mixed media book, just so that I can keep the paper, you know, kind of the same. Although it would be cool to use tissue paper, which I've done in the past, and it adheres really nicely and looks really nice when you add it to the art journal. So going to dry this. All right, I think because I can cut this down now, I'm gonna cut it down and then add it again to the stamp platform. That way I can use VersaMark and then use embossing powder. This is a Tonic little trimmer. Don't ask me how to say it because you'll get a good laugh. Guillotine. Yeah, I don't know. All right, VersaMark ink. And as you can see, it's very well loved, but it still works. All right, I'm gonna stamp here. Oh, I was gonna use my stamp platform. Darn, let's see if this works. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use it only because I didn't get the center. So let's put this in here. Trying to talk as I go, so we'll see. Put that up there, put this here. And try this again. All right, let me get in frame here. There we go. So we're gonna stamp or ink up the stamp. Make sure that I get that center really well. All right, let's see if that worked better. Yes. I'm going to use white embossing powder. Just because my plan is to use the more muted tones, although I'm not sure. This looks very muted. not as vibrant as some of the others. So we'll see how it works. I'm gonna make sure that I get all the excess off. I'm gonna melt this. I'm gonna take this piece now and stamp, whoa, almost tipped over my embossing powder. All right, so I'm gonna stamp this one twice and this one once, and I don't have to do any masking because I'm going to be cutting these out. So, and then I'm going to add them to the page. And that kind of gives a little bit more dimension anyways to the page. A little bit. I mean, obviously I'm not going to pop them up with pop dots or anything. Alright, hopefully that will do. I'm going to take this one off and I'm going to stamp this one right here. And I'm really curious to, not curious, but I'm really wanting to get more stamps from this company because I looked them up and they have some really cool stamps. So, right. Set that aside. Going to add my embossing powder. This is the one that I use for like mixed media type projects. As you could see, it has a lot of gunk in it, and that way I have one for my cards. And then, I mean, because honestly I don't really care if there's gunk in it because it's a mixed media project. So that's just me. Other, you know, people might be different. Alright, I am going to use milled lavender. See how, actually, where's that other one? The weathered wood. Alright, I have this watercolor, or water brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this, just so that it can help the color flow a little bit. Ooh, that is pretty. Alright. I'm just going to dip this in here and see how it goes. That is pretty. So it's really like a blue-gray or gray-blue color. It's really pretty. So I want maybe these two. I'm gonna see how it looks not adding any water. I actually like that better. More concentrated color. And remember, I did add gesso, which I could have done this on watercolor paper and maybe got a better watercolor effect. That's alright. Make sure I keep an eye out on my time because this camera turns off after 25 minutes because it is not necessarily a video camera. So, and I'm not worried about the lines because I am going to cut it out. Right. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit of texture, and because I'm going to have the flowers on this side, I'm going to add more texture on this side, and then it kind of fade out to this because I want the focus to be on this side. So we're going to add, find a clean palette knife over there. Alright, so this is light paste, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I like light paste more than I do, make sure this is the right side. Yeah, sorry. I like light paste more than I like modeling paste. And it's a little bit more airy and it dries a little bit faster. Before I put that on, I wanted to show you, this stencil is from Gabrielle. Really nice stencil. It is called Mini Tile Mania. Probably one of my favorites right now. So I've used it quite often. So, you know, I don't have that much on my knife here, so I'm just scraping on a little bit. And I want to go down the whole side here, and I'll pick up the stencil after I'm done adding it this way, and then come down here and then add it on the bottom and then move that way, if that makes sense. You'll see. Just give me a second. All right. So, and then I want to add a little bit to the top here. And then a little bit less. So, add a little bit to the center. So you could see, hopefully. And then this is where it gets a little bit tricky, only because you don't, well, unless you're patient, if you are, you'll let this dry and then come back in about an hour or so and then add your paste down at the bottom. But I'm not, it's no secret, so kind of have to hold it up as you're adding the paste. Try not to move it, and yeah, so then I'm gonna put it down. Hopefully I'm on camera here. Add a little bit to the bottom here. And fade it out as I go. And then what I like to do is take what's left, kind of fade it out, and then kind of just smooth out some of those edges. Turn this way. I'm going to add a little bit of, let's see if I can do this. So I'm going to, hopefully this works. And you never know unless you try, right? All right. Perfect. You guys can't see because it's white on white, but there you go. So that is the texture I have so far. And just gonna smooth out some of these edges just to give the page a little bit more interest, and then when I start adding all of the color, it will add more interest to the page. Right. I think I am done with that. Alright, I am going to spray on here a little bit and hope for the best, I guess. This is the Victorian Velvet color. Add a little bit of water. And you guys know that I really don't like things with shimmer, so I am absolutely in love with these because they are gorgeous colors and they don't have any shimmer to them. So that's always a plus for me anyways. All right, I'm gonna add this weathered wood color over here. Yeah, see, sprayed, it's definitely different than adding it as watercolors. So I have to be careful because I don't want it to get too muddy. That's definitely not what I was going for. So I'm just gonna pick up that color. And it's nice because if you use gesso, you'll be able to pick up the color a little bit easier. So let's see if I add, no, see, that's totally different. All right, let's see here. Thinking maybe I'll add the hickory smoke. This is really dark gray, so this is going to add a lot of depth. Like, it's going to see how it kind of just goes along all of those grooves. All right, see, there I go, not talking again. I wanted a lighter colored art journal page, but we'll see how this turns out. And I like this method better than adding it, like spraying it on, because you have more control. Right, I'm gonna turn this so that I can get over here a little bit better. See, and I think with these you have to definitely keep layering the color on. So we'll see how it ends up, I guess. And then but I do think that the Victorian Velvet might be a little bit too red. So I'm thinking that I want to add the purple instead. So let's see. We're experimenting here, all right? I'm gonna add the purple. Quite a bit. Cover it up. I'm gonna dry this and then add more layers of color. All right, this color is Dusty Concord. It is just a darker purple. And I just want to get a little bit of variation of color on here so that it's not, you know, just like one color. And I like how it's, I like when I added the purple because it was just a little bit too red, I think. So I'm gonna add, instead of adding water to move around that darker purple, I'm just gonna add this lighter purple. And you can see that it's just gonna move it around a bit. And if it's still not moving around how you want, you definitely can add water. Right, this is buckling a little bit too much. And bend it back a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more purple on up here. And I'm just kind of like splattering it on, not necessarily, you know, dabbing it on. So now I'm dabbing it, but I'm just doing more of the outside now so that can kind of draw your eye to the center. We'll see. This definitely is not how I envisioned this, but we'll see. I'm going to get a lot of that excess color. Now I'm going to move it this way. It's kind of a waiting game. All right, this is interesting for me because I am trying out this new product with you guys. And I'm not sure how I like it yet. We'll see. Alright, I cannot figure out how to do these in a way that they don't look funky. Well, maybe like that actually. Yeah, we'll try that actually. Alright. Going to remove these, and I'm actually going to kind of blot on a little bit of gesso. I'm going to see how it works. Because I'm going to blot some of this off first. This is a baby wipe. They come in handy because, well, they just do for a lot of different things. Cleaning off stamps, obviously blotting off color, tons of different things. And I am liking this a little bit better. It's a little bit lighter, and yeah, we'll see how, and honestly, if I was doing a, you know, like a voiceover video, I probably would have just scratched this and started over, because I just would have. I'm gonna add the lavender all the way on this side. All right. Now I'm going to take some gesso and I'm going to add it to my mat. This way, if I have color on the baby wipe, then I am not getting too much into the gesso itself. Excuse me. Move these out of the way. Another baby wipe. So what I like to do is I like to kind of fold it and then make it kind of like a pouch. So kind of like, it's hard to tell, but it's kind of like a pouch. And then I like to just kind of dab it in there and just work it in the baby wipe. And because these are water-based, it is a little harder. And they're not really, the color isn't all the way dry either, so Right, then when it gets, excuse me, when it gets too much color, I like to flip it around and then go back over what I just did. This is more creating a lighter purple, but it's also creating a lot of texture, and so it looks kind of cool. It definitely looks way different in camera than it does here, right? When I'm looking at it right now, like straight on, it doesn't look as cool as it does in the camera. So, and honestly, sometimes projects are like that. I've had plenty of projects that turn out that way, that when I take photos of them, they, I actually like them better than in person. It's kind of weird, but. All right, I'm gonna dry this and then I'm gonna go over it one more time. And then it's just gonna create a, you know, how, well, you see, it's starting to come together, I think. All right. Because that dried, it's going to go on whiter now. And just gonna have to work a little bit fast, or else it's gonna soak in and with the color. And I'll probably have to do it one more time anyways. That's okay. And again, I'm not talking. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting to see if people enjoy this or not. So I'm not pouncing it on as much on that when I was on that side. Now I am again. right. And now I think I might yeah, I forgot how I had these now again. All right. Should have taken a picture, but I didn't. All right, let's see. See, it's still too purpley right here. I want it whiter. So I'm gonna go in with more. Actually, I'm gonna dry it first and then go in with a little bit more. I'm gonna blot some more gesso on here. Definitely very purpley. All right. All right, you guys might think I am crazy, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Dusty, what is this? Dusty Concord, only because it's looking a little flat to me. So I want a little bit more dimension in some areas. Not all areas. I want to keep this side a little bit lighter than this side, the right side. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to tilt it already this way because I don't want the color to go to the right side. So a little bit that way, a little bit down, always. I didn't want any there. And I'm going to tilt it a little bit this way. I want a little bit on the top and then a little bit more on the bottom. So I'm just going to add a little bit right here. And I'm going to do them separately only because this is bending a little bit. So I don't want it. I'm just going to tap this on actually. And then I'm going to hold this down while I add it to this side. Only because I don't want it dripping too much down into the middle. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to kind of tap it on. And then I'm gonna make sure the time's still there. Gonna just kind of blend out all of those lines. I don't want any harsh lines. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of the hickory smoke, just a tad bit. Use just a little bit. Sometimes I say a little bit and then it ends up being a lot, but that time I think I was true to my word. All right, I am thinking that no. I forget how these were, so I'm gonna have to play around with them again to remember how I had them. I think I realized what was missing, so I'm gonna add a little bit of stamping. I think that's what's missing. So I'm gonna try to find my little stamp that I like to use, my little script stamp. Here it is. I'm gonna add a little bit of stamping, and then I think that's going to just kind of ground everything and bring everything together. Let's hope, because I keep saying that and I think it's too purpley, but we'll see when I add the stamping. So I'm going to grab VersaFine Onyx black ink, I think. Let's see if this works. So this stamp is from Finnabair. And all right, I'm gonna try down here first. You can always stamp off, and that way you're not getting too much in one spot if you don't want. And especially if it's somewhere where you're not sure of. Dun, dun, dun. I think it's coming together. There's hope, you guys. All right. And I know there's gonna be you guys that say it was gorgeous all along. You guys are too sweet. But I think with everybody, there's just, everybody has a different eye. And just something wasn't, I don't know, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It was just missing something. And I think it was the stamping. And let's see. Now let's see how these look. I'm thinking I might do these on watercolor paper because they're getting a little, see on the back side. Alright, so I'm going to take some watercolor paper. This is some Bristol, some Strathmore watercolor paper. And I'm actually going to spray the distress spray stain on the watercolor paper. And just going to let it kind of do its thing. I'm going to add a little bit of the darker color. And also this weathered wood. Just to give a little bit of variation in color, because I'm going to actually stamp out those flowers again. So, because I'm just not liking how they looked. So, add a little bit of water. Just gonna move this around a bit. Gonna dry this. This is still a little bit wet, so we'll see how it stamps on. And this is a little bit more textured than the mixed media paper, so we'll see. Yeah, I should have. All right, let's try that again. I can clean this up with a black pen, so I am not too worried about that, but stamp this again. There we go, a little bit better. Then I'm gonna do this one. That one up here. Yeah, that did not stamp that well. Let's try that one again. Right there. Alright, sounds a little bit better. So that one there, and just gonna do a little bit of this one because I'll have this one peeking out. So don't need the stem for that one. All right, I'm gonna cut these out and then I will be back. Now I'm going to finish putting the page together. And again, it's very, very purpley. Super purple. Can't believe how purple it turned out. I wanted it to be like this color, like a gray. Thinking I need to move this to this side only because I have all that glue right here. And all right. So purple. All right. Where's my glue? There it is. Just gonna add the glue here, here, I think the black makes them stand out a little bit more. I'm gonna cover this up and then I'm gonna add a lot of white splatters, I think. I think that will help. There we go. All right, so right now I'm gonna use gesso and a little bit of water. See how it ends up. I'm gonna get a lot of it on my brush because I want to kind of make splatters and not, or like more like splats, I should say, rather than just splatters. So I want to make sure that it's very, like there's a lot on there. It's a little bit hard. I'm gonna get some scissors. and just tap away. I think it needs some a little bit over here. Just gonna fling it on instead of splattering it on. All right, next I'm going to get my the white, it's right here. And this one has a lot of pigment on the bottom, so you want to make sure that you shake it up. Then I'm going to add these back over here because I don't want a lot of white splatters on my flowers. And tap away. Let's see. Just gonna add a little bit there and then a little bit there. I want to make sure it all comes together. And with the white splatters, I think it helps bring the, or it helps the flowers stand out a little bit more. It's a little bit better. I'm gonna dry this and then I'm gonna cut this apart and then add it to my art journal page. Gonna add it with some of this Fabri-Tac glue. I feel like I should have used a different color because it's so purple. But that's okay. I actually am really happy with how it turned out because I was getting a little bit worried. Whoops, there I go, messing things up. Yeah, I was a bit worried. I think it needs a little bit of texture, so I'm going to add a little bit of this string. I'm going to do this down here. And then up on the top. Just to add a little bit of something. And this is upholstery thread. I use this very often in my projects. Sorry, you guys are way off camera. And it's like, it's thicker than regular sewing thread, but it has like this coating on it that helps it keep its shape. And I just like it a lot better than regular thread. If you got things like little twirlies that you don't want, you can try to tuck them under, but if they don't, then you can just kind of cut them off. That's what I always do. Because I tend to add more string than I should. So I think it turned out pretty well, besides the fact that it is super purple. All right, so here is the art journal page. This is what I ended up with. I am actually really happy with how it turned out, considering I was getting really worried with how everything was coming together, but I just kept at it, and I'm glad that I did because I like it. I mean, it is very purple, but the whole design and everything I really like. And I love these flowers, and I love this quote, "Life is pretty awesome." So yeah, if you made it to the end, you are amazing. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know to create more videos like this. And I guess we'll see how long it takes me to edit it. I am very curious to see, because I was hoping that it would be quicker so that I can just kind of put the, you know, clips together and upload it, but I definitely am going to have to do some editing on this. So yeah, here it is again. All right, everything will be listed down below, so be sure to check it out. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.